Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wishcraft. This is Wishbone8121 here, and like I said, welcome to Wishcraft. In this episode, one of the things I really want to show you is a warped fungus farm hooked up to Cubemaker. This was actually extremely easy to make. I can show you how to make the Cubemaker because this farm is by Silentwhisperer. You can look it up in his channel how to build it. It is extremely easy, extremely easy. And the Cubemaker is not too tough either. The Cubemaker is my design, but you know, it's not really that complicated. They're pretty easy. Anyway, I did want to show you how cool it is because it's great. And I'm gonna make a big giant tree right there with probably glass leaves and candles all over the place. 1.17 came in today, so this is my first time playing in 1.17. If you look at my inventory, I do have some glow ink already and some copper, so I've played a little bit. Just got home from work anyway. And one more thing, one of the first things I noticed about 1.17 is that your view distance while underwater is much higher. So even though I'm standing in water, I can see all of these farms before, whereas before I would have to step out into the open to see all of them. So I really like that because well, I have kind of like a waterish base, and there's a lot of times I'm in water streams, and it's nice that I can now see my farms while I'm in water. Anyway, I think I mentioned earlier that that my old tree farm was absolutely horrible. You can definitely skip ahead a minute if you want to, you know, spare yourself the horror of watching this extremely slow oak tree farm. I would used to stand here forever and go through like tons and tons of bone meal. Actually, that was really fast. You know, sometimes you have to wait like up to 3 minutes for just one tree to bone meal. So, well, this is actually going faster than normal, but trust me, it really is painful most of the time. So, yeah. This thing would go through like multiple double chests of bone meal to get maybe like 10 stacks of wood. But, you know, now when I go on camera and try to record, it's like going faster than normal. It knows I'm onto it. Now, before I get into everything, I do want to show you some improvements I've made to my base. Not just this beautiful decorative hallway to my tree farm, which is pretty cool, or my, you know, the trunk of my giant warped wood tree that I'm going to be building here. Or my beautiful statues, which, like all of my other statues, let's see, do I have enough in my inventory? Yeah, let's look. These are not just for show. They are, in fact, perfect sets of armor. And, yeah, because, you know, if I'm going to have beacons as my little lamps here, I might as well have, you know, actually decent armor guarding them. So we'll put those back on. And one more. Yes, that's the one. And then, let's see. There we go. I think that's what we're doing. Yep, perfect. Back to how it was. And yeah, all of these armor sets are the same. They all have enchantments that are as good as that one. You know, fully enchanted. And as you can see, I'm only level 318 right now because I was level 1200 a couple days ago. So we're just gonna run through real quickly, look at my farms, and I'll show you the improvements I made. First of all, I have been running this for about 30 hours, so this has been smelting fish for about 30 hours nonstop. So we'll see how much XP is in that. But first, we'll compare it to this smelter, my normal XP furnace. So right now I have 318 levels and how many bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 11 bars. So I will just check how much is in my normal smelter as a comparison. Okay, so that one had 6 levels plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Almost 12. I totally forgot how much was in there before, but just a little over 6 levels, I think. And then to compare, let's see how much is in this one now. Ooh. That one has almost 4 levels. So this one now is about 2/3 as much XP as my original furnace, which this furnace has basically been running a lot since I built. This was the first farm I built, was actually a cactus farm over top of this furnace, and I used it as a experience smelter. I've been using it as an experience smelter for a long time, basically since I started this server. And yeah, I eventually I also hooked it up to a kelp farm after that. But kelp, which is kind of cool as a a smelting fuel. Bamboo is better because the bamboo farm is just better. Anyway, we're gonna go over to my bamboo farm, which if you've never seen it on video, it is basically super great. This thing makes infinite bone meal, and then the infinite bone meal goes in these chests over here. So there's chests. It's all automatic, and it backs itself up too. So this puts bone meal in itself first, then it puts bone meal in there, and then when it's done doing that, it puts bone meal in these chests right here. And the really cool thing I added over here is I added these comparators here, with a line running into the hopper clock, or not the hopper clock, I think, what is this, a 2-tick clock, something like that. Whatever the clock this is, this runs the bone meal part of the farm, and this is a bamboo micro farm. So if you didn't know, there's comparators coming out of this chest. So if I pull any bamboo out of here, it automatically turns on until all 3 of these double chests are full again. And then what I did is I added another comparator that does basically the same thing at the top. Here, I'll let you look at it real quick, and then just basically quickly tell you how it works. This hopper here is not it's not running into anything. It's just a floating hopper with items in it, and it has 1 less than the maximum amount of items, so that this comparator, looking at it, gives a signal strength of 14, which is what you get when something is almost full. Now this comparator is on subtraction mode, looking at the top bone meal chest. So basically, when this chest completely fills up with bone meal, it will give a signal strength of 15, which then minus 14, because this one's 14. Going into the side in subtraction mode means it's the comparator does the chest minus whatever's coming from the side. The side's going to be 14 because of the hopper. And then, so if this completely fills up, then a signal will run through this line and turn off this farm. So now this farm has an automatic turn off switch, basically. So that's very cool. This has an automatic turning on for the micro farm, and then an automatic turning off from the bone meal farm. And then obviously if I pull anything out of these chests, it will turn back on. So that's really cool. I thought it was, pretty neat. That farm is basically as good as it gets. Unlimited fuel and unlimited bone meal. So it's pretty great. And we got our I think it's about time we make some candles.
Well, I guess joke's on me, because candles aren't even in the game yet. Wow. Yeah, that makes me a little mad, to be honest. But, well, I guess you can't have everything you want. So I think I will just put these back, and I will be prepared when candles do come out, which they're supposedly going to be coming out in 17.10 or whatever the heck that is, but I wish it were closer. Anyway, I do want to show something I'm going to do, 2 things. One is with this cauldron, which I am actually going to go into the nether with it. And the other thing I want to show you is with the glow ink sacks. So we'll do the glow ink sacks things first, because that's is closer. So obviously, you might already know this, or maybe not, but you can put them on signs. And this actually excites me a little bit, because now in my nether kind of nether highway underneath the nether, I have a place that goes to a dark oak forest, because basically dark oak is the prettiest wood. It just is. Sorry if you disagree with me. Oh, I totally forgot. What is this supposed to say? Protection 4 and smite 4. So basically, sorry, can't talk and write at the same time. It's a real thing. Anyway, these signs are so pretty, the colors are great, and then you can't read them. And literally, it doesn't even matter if you make them white, you still can't read them. It's ridiculous. Here, I'll show you. So basically, I was so excited to make white signs. Oh, actually, you can read them now. Seriously? Am I crazy? Because, like, maybe they made it different. Because, you know, literally a month ago, I tried putting these signs up, and I couldn't read any of them. So, maybe Wishbone is just completely nuts. Maybe not. Anyway, if I turn it white, and then put the glowing ink sac. Look at how bright and pretty that is. That is so nice. Anyway, I will do a cut, and then I'm going to replace all the signs here, and then you can look at it.
But yeah, these signs are absolutely beautiful. I love them a lot. Basically, in order to make them glow, you have to put in a dye of some color, and then put the glowing ink sac on them. So yeah, it's just great. Let's see here. Actually, we will take that out. We're going to keep some glowing ink in the in my ender chest dye box. Perfect. These white dyes I can just throw in the garbage, and these signs can go in the garbage. Yeah, perfect. And these signs we'll put in here. I will put more signs. Now that I can finally use these things, I'm going to put those in my wood box, in my ender chest. Those will just throw in there, and cool. Now from now on, I will be using the dark oak signs because they are beautiful. Was that a goat? I believe that's a goat right there. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to mention here while I'm at my Iron Farm trading hall. I put all of these guys in water because I heard from, I think, Prowl that if they're in water, they don't disconnect from beds anymore. And, you know, it does seem that the iron golems are spawning more consistently, and I'm having less breaks where they stop spawning. So, yeah, see, there you go. Before, this was often not running at night because one of them would decide to unlink from a bed, and then they couldn't relink to beds until the morning. But yeah, this thing is definitely kicking out iron now. It should be running, clocking in at 460 or so, 465 iron ingots per hour. So yeah, that's great. With that, this is probably about as cool and fast as the iron farm can get. Yeah, and I love the new signs. All right, so here's a close-up of this farm. That's the clock that makes it run. You got some redstone going into some dispensers back here. There's one of them. Oh, that one's out of bone meal. I guess I'll have to fill this thing up again. Where's my, there we go. You'll quickly bone meal this up. right, now something you do need to know is that this farm, basically you need to use split controls in order to work. If you play on mobile, because you have to have the basically you run this by planting through the corner of the honey block. The reason you need to do that is because when the warped fungus forms, it makes these fungus blocks everywhere. But it won't make one if there's a solid block already there. So you have to have the honey block there. That way a fungus block won't appear in its place. And the reason why it's good is because the honey block's not a completely full block. It acts like a full block, but you can actually place things and see through the corner here. So like that, I'm looking at the dispenser, even though it's at the corner of the honey block, that dispenser's full too. All right, perfect. So I will put my bone blocks back, and then I'm gonna light up this farm. Basically, this is super simple. Like I said, it's on Silentwhisperer's channel. Definitely build one. Just take some sticky pistons, and if you don't have glazed terracotta, you can just use obsidian instead. So super simple. I will show you how it works. And basically, you remember how much I was saying it, like the other oak tree farm sucked because it took forever to bone meal. This is actually way more bone meal efficient. Like I said, sometimes it took up to a minute or even 2 minutes for the other farm to work, and that was only for each tree. For the oak tree farm is only 4 high. This farm, it makes trees that are up to 40 tall, though most of them aren't quite that tall. Most of them are like around like I think between 4 and 8. And then some are up to 12 high. So basically, the piston line that we use on this farm is only 12 high. So, yeah, but you still get, a lot of wood. So basically, I'm just going to use 2 stacks because that almost fills up an entire Cubemaker. And then as part of this farm, just one of the things that happens is the dispenser that's below this block that I'm placing on, it is bone mealing the warped fungus directly below where I'm placing. That way, in case when the tree's above it, it reverts back into normal netherrack, it turns it immediately back into warped fungus blocks so that you can keep placing fungus on it. So that's important. Obviously, that's part of the tutorial. But there is one thing you need to know about that, which is that every once in a while, it will, because it's bone mealing that block, as you can see, random growths are being made on top of it. If a crimson fungus is generated by that bone meal, then you need to break it with your fist before you place the warped fungus block, because a crimson mushroom will never grow on a warped fungus block. So you have to kind of punch it out and then place a mushroom. That's pretty much all you need to know in order to run this farm. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you how to make a Cubemaker. Now, by the way, for this farm, I think I mentioned already, but it's on Silentwhisperer's channel. When you build it, he suggests you build a what he calls like an advanced version of his farm with 5 sets of pistons. So it's a 5-wide piston output instead of 1. I'm going to suggest do not do that. Now, here's the reason. First of all, you don't need a ton of this warped fungus block, okay? You just don't need that much of it. It is not worth getting a ton of it. You want the wood. The wood is the thing you want, not that. Anyway, it looks like there might be something broken in my farm. I will have to check it out because that's weird that a whole line is missing. Anyway, yeah, so you don't want a ton of that. You just want the wood. So for the wood, it is much better to just do a 1-wide piston output, and then near the end of the distance, like as far as it goes, that's where you put your little your smart piston.
So this is called a smart piston. It's really simple. Basically, you put a redstone torch underneath the bottom piston here. And what this does is, if I were to put a block there, I'm not going to because I don't want to mess up the whole cube here. But if I were to put a block there, the redstone torch would be hard powering it. In a hard powered block, you can pull a signal out of it from a repeater. So it would power this, it would soft power this repeater or whatever. It would power this repeater and it will generate an output. So basically, you just have the torch underneath the bottom piston and then a repeater going out of it. And then you just do a glass going back and forth all the way up. And then a solid block with redstone on top of it every other block. Super simple. That way, what happens is when a block moves over the redstone torch, it powers the circuit, the pistons push it over. And then obviously it unpowers because then there's not a block there and the torch can't power, midair. It doesn't do anything. And then for the actual Cubemaker, it is the same thing. We'll just look at this real quick. Okay. There we go. So basically, same thing. You have your smart piston layout, same as before. You got the redstone torch underneath where the last block is going to be. You've got a redstone repeater going out of it, and then your output signal. Now for this, what I did here is each of these is 12 blocks long. So just like on the other one, you have a solid block with redstone going into the piston every other row going up. In this case, it's going to be whole rows instead of just one block. And then I have a redstone repeater going into each once at the end of each row. So that's basically it. So you put redstone dust on glass blocks going up, going into repeaters that power the first block on lines of redstone dust, and that will do it for you. All right, guys. So as I showed you, it does not take very long at all to make a little cube of wood, and there's some fungus in there too. So when you want to go to, like I said, it just takes a couple minutes, like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to make a cube of this size. And then when you want to go to harvest it, you want two things. You want an axe and a hoe. And the reason for the hoe is because it can instant mine the fungus stuff. Otherwise, if you just have an axe, then, well, that is painfully slow. But this is instant. So there we go. Those are the two things you want. And I'm going to harvest this real quick. I will tell you how long it takes, and then I will tell you how much stuff I got. See ya in a minute. Plus 11, almost half a stack of the shroom light, and almost 2 stacks of the warp blocks. And that is it took 7 minutes to harvest that cube. Obviously, it is gone now. So you take into account that it takes about 7 minutes to harvest that, and maybe another 3 to make it again. That is about 1 harvest every 10 minutes. So in an hour, you could probably do 13 times 6, almost 80 stacks of wood in an hour of gameplay. So definitely, this farm is worth it. If you look at Silentwhisperer's channel, you'll be able to find it. It's the warped fungus or crimson fungus tree farm. And this will also, all I need to do to switch this to crimson fungus instead is I break these blocks and put in the crimson nylium instead. And then instead of using the warped fungus, I'll use the crimson fungus. And the way you get crimson and warped fungus is actually, well, it's from using the best farm in the world. And
if that didn't tip you off to what I'm talking about, here I will show you in just one moment. Here, let me get all this stuff away. Put my wings on. And yes, basically the best farm in the game not only works as an infinite supply of bone meal and an infinite supply of bamboo, but it also has a third use of being an infinite supply of fungus. So basically, you grab some fungus, then you get out of the farm because, you know, just get stuff all over the place. Basically, I can pull out whichever one I'm looking for. I can put the warp fungus in the inventory. I'm just being terrible. Or I could put the crimson fungus in, and basically I just make it fill up all my slots, and then I just stand inside of the farm, and then it will just fill up all of my slots, with whichever mushrooms I want. So I just stand in here, boom, like this, and I can just AFK here for a while, and then it'll just fill up all of those with the mushrooms that I'm looking for. So that is probably the easiest way to get mushrooms. Otherwise, you can try bone mealing these manually. That will also work. Or, you know, or running around the nether. But, yeah, I wouldn't suggest that one. Anyway, we'll just throw this back in because, you know, I already have more than I could ever use. Back at the farm. So, I think that's everything you need to know to use this farm. And, let me see if I can think of anything else for today. I think that might do it. Definitely upset about the candles, but you know, when they do come, I will be ready, and maybe I will just make more of this tree so that the tree is nice and beautiful and ready for when that arrives. Anyway, I will build this up again, and oh yeah, I'll let you see the underside of this build. Man, that is pretty cool. I might say so myself. The tree's going to be going down here with its roots going around the bottom into my my coral reef, which is transplanted. This coral reef is actually, I took it from a warm ocean 100 blocks over there, because this is not a warm ocean. Anyway, I think that'll do it. You guys have a great day. Oh, and if you have any questions or comments, or if you want a block-by-block tutorial of any of my farms, such as my iron farm trading hall, my gold farm, or this cool farm with the bone meal. And if you do ask for a block-by-block tutorial in the comments, I will make one. The first person to ask for a block-by-block tutorial, I will make one for you, and I will post it within a few days. And I will make it so that it is makes more sense, you know? Like if you ask for my fish farm infinite XP smelter, I won't do a block-by-block tutorial of my setup here. I will actually make a creative world, make the actual fish farm, and I'll put the smelter close to it, like it's actually trying to make sense. You know, I'll do the same thing with everything else. Anything you show me or you want me to build, I will build it for you. I'll show you a block-by-block tutorial, and I'll make it make more sense than what it makes on this realm. Because on this realm, a lot of my machines and farms, I built them and then figured out how to hook them up together, and then just kind of, you know, finagled it as best I could. But anyway, like I said, first person in the comments to ask for a block-by-block tutorial gets the one of their choice, and I will obviously put your name in the video. And yeah, you guys have a nice day, and feel free to like and comment and subscribe. All right, have a good evening. Bye.